Chapter 28. So Zarathustra suffered himself to fall into the power of the Sun King, and the soldiers caused him and Asha to march in their midst to the place of the skulls. And there came thousands and tens of thousands of people forth to witness the proceedings, for at this time there were many who were in sympathy with Zarathustra, as well as many against him. And in order to stay the multitude, the captain of the army called out many soldiers in addition to those who made the arrest. Others ran to the king's palace, carrying the news of his arrest, and the place he had been taken to. The king said to the heralds, "Though this man shall die, it is fit that proper judgment be rendered against him, as an example, before all men. Go, therefore, to the executioners, and command them to bring Zarathustra into my presence, that I may adjudge him to death according to law." This was accomplished. Zarathustra was brought before the king, who accosted him, saying, "By thy behavior thou art accused before thy king, and I adjudge thee to death. But that thou mayst be, as an example, before the world, I will render my judgments before the heralds, who shall proclaim my words unto all who desire to witness my death. First, then, thou wert ordered for arrest by my predecessor, and thou deliveredst not thyself up to my soldiers, neither could they find thee. For which thou art adjudged to death. Second, without permission from the king of the sun, thou hast traveled in foreign lands, sowing seeds of disallegiance against the central kingdom. For which thou art adjudged to death. Third, the king of kings offered a ransom for thy head, and the king's soldiers were disappointed in finding thee. For which thou art adjudged to death. Fourth, in thy youth thou threatenedst to overthrow the city of Oas, the city of the sun, and failedst to make thy word good, thereby being a teacher of lies. For which thou art adjudged to death. Fifth, thou hast cut off the foreign tribute to the rightful owner of the whole world. For which thou art adjudged to death. Sixth, thou hast revived the doctrines of the Dark Ages, teaching of spirits and gods, which things cannot exist, because they are contrary to nature, and contrary to the laws of the King of the world. For which thou art adjudged to death. Seventh, thou hast taught that there is an unseen Creator greater than thy King, which is contrary to reason. For which thou art adjudged to death. Eighth, thou returnest to Oas not openly, but as a thief, and hid thyself in a chamber of the wall. For which reason thou art adjudged to death in the manner of thieves, which is the most ignoble of deaths. Therefore, I command the executioners to take thee to the den of thieves, and cast thee therein, and on the morrow, at high noon, thou shalt be hung up by thy feet along with the thieves, where thou shalt be left hanging till thou art dead. That my judgment may appease thy best friends, what sayest thou against my decrees?" Zarathustra said, "All the charges thou hast made against me are true this day, but ere tomorrow's setting sun I will have disproved some of them. Today thy kingdom is large, in 2 days I will be dead, and thou wilt be dead, and this great city will be destroyed. Yea, the temple of the sun will be rent in twain, and fall as a heap of rubbish." The king laughed in derision, and then spake to Asha, saying, "Thou art an old fool. Go thy way." So Asha was liberated, and Zarathustra was taken to the den of thieves, and cast therein. And the den of thieves was surrounded by the dens of lions, that belonged to the king's gardens. And a bridge passed over, and, when the prisoners were within, the bridge was withdrawn. And no prisoner could escape, but would fall a prey to the lions, which were fed on the flesh of the persons executed according to law.